Are you looking for an athletic scholarship? You're in the right place. This is the Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the longest running podcast on recruiting and athletic scholarships. We're here to help your family navigate the recruiting road all the way to an athletic scholarship. He's a recruiting expert and a dad of 2 college athletes. He has a wealth of experience to share. Here's Recruit Me CEO, Brent Hanks.
Welcome to episode 378 of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. Today's episode is another look back into a past episode of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. Jon Fugler, the Recruit Me and the Athletic Scholarship Podcast founder, published 202 episodes, and I'm going back to episode 168 from October 22nd, 2019. The title of episode 168 is How to Fight Anxiety and Panic in Recruiting. This subject is just as prevalent today as it was back in 2019. The Athletic Scholarship Podcast is part of the Recruit Me education business. My name is Brent Hanks, and I am the owner and CEO of Recruit Me. Recruit Me's goal is to provide you, whether you are a potential student athlete or the parent of a potential student athlete, with as many free and inexpensive recruiting resources as possible. You can find the Athletic Scholarship Podcast on your favorite podcast app, and a new episode hits every Tuesday. The Athletic Scholarship Podcast is the world's longest-running recruiting education podcast. Other resources that Recruit Me provides are the free Recruiting Power Pack, which is available on the recruit-me.com website. You get a download with the first steps to an athletic scholarship, an audio file about how to use videos, and a free player profile template. Just sign up on the recruit-me.com homepage. Also, you can sign up for the free Recruit Me monthly newsletter that gives you monthly recruiting tips, advice, and links to last month's The Athletic Scholarship Podcast episodes. The Recruit Me 3.0 Athletic Scholarship System gives you a 200-plus page manual and workbook to take you step-by-step through your personalized recruiting journey. You can get the Recruit Me 3.0 system for only $39. You will get the 7 steps to an athletic scholarship and much, much more. Step 1, select the right schools to contact. Step 2, write a great introductory email. Step 3, create your one-page player profile. Step 4, build your own recruiting questionnaire. Step 5, track your communications. Step 6, send one-page updates. And Step 7, make your school choice wisely. Go to recruit-me.com to get your recruiting plan today. Jon talks about how anxiety crept in during his twin sons' recruitment, how he and his wife could hear the clock ticking, thus bringing on anxiety and even a little panic. There are many aspects of the clock ticking thing. Anxiety can first start when you don't know when or how to start the recruiting process. It can start or build when you don't know why college coaches aren't watching you play or aren't contacting you. You may feel the creep when you see other athletes on social media announcing offers that they are getting or announcing that they have committed, or that you have sent information to college coaches and you haven't heard back from any of them. These are just a few that can stack up and cause anxiety. In episode 168, Jon lays out 3 ways to fight off anxiety and panic. The first thing is to have a plan and stick with your plan. Here is what Jon said about the first strategy.
The first thing is this, and this is the most important one. Stick with your plan. Stick with your plan. And in parentheses, you can say, and you better have one. You got to have a plan. If you approach this scattered and just trying this and that, a few other things, you are going to be anxious. You are going to panic. Even if you don't hear about all the other athletes that are signing, you're just going to be, the calendar is going to start ripping off pages of that. The clock is ticking. And if you don't have a plan, you don't have a foundation to work from. Have a recruiting plan. I have a step-by-step plan that I teach my families. You might work differently. Maybe step-by-step isn't the way you'd like to work. But somehow, not just out of your own personal knowledge, somehow come up with a plan. Talk to people who have been successful at this, other parents, other athletes. See what worked for them and build your own plan. There are a number of books out there. There are a number of websites that you can go to help you out. Although these days there's too much information out there and it could really mess you over, make you more anxious, make you more panicky because you can't figure out how to develop a plan.
Jon mentioned a step-by-step plan that is the Recruit Me 3.0 athletic scholarship system. I obviously suggest that you check out the Recruit Me 3.0 system. There is a link in the show notes. Check it out because it will take out one of the reasons you may have anxiety. It provides you with a proven, easy-to-follow plan. My older son, Parker, developed a plan as we drove back from an official visit. Remember, we did not find Recruit Me till after Parker signed his national letter of intent to Northwestern. The official visit was arranged by one of his high school coaches, whose brother was a pitching coach at Lubbock Christian University in Lubbock, Texas. So on our 13-hour drive home, and after Lubbock Christian had made him an offer, the offer was that a baseball scholarship would pick up whatever his academic scholarship didn't cover. Parker and I started to make a list of parameters, and from that he started on a school list. The official visit and the offer took away one of the main symptoms of recruiting anxiety, and that was the question of what level a recruit can play at. Lubbock Christian is a high-level NCAA Division II baseball program. So from his offer with them, we felt that Parker could pick from about any level of play. He still had his junior and senior year of high school to compete, and he had just finished a good high school sophomore year and a strong summer of travel baseball competing against some future Division I players. Parker made a list of a couple of NCAA Division III schools, about 5 NCAA Division II schools, and about 10 NCAA Division I teams. All of these teams were within 5 hours of home and were high academic schools. All of this triggered us to start doing research on the colleges and develop an introductory email and videos to send to coaches. So a plan was started. I engaged my car sales background of how to contact customers, or in this case, coaches, and how to follow up and keep track of Parker's communication. Parker put together a specific recruiting email address to use and for us to share. On that, I could monitor his email communications. Now with Sutton, my younger son, we had the experience and we had Recruit Me. So with Sutton, we diminished our anxiety by understanding the when to start and the how to start questions. We didn't worry about coaches being in the stands for his sophomore or even his junior summer because Sutton's maturity and developed and his wanting to play in college blossomed in the summer between his junior and senior year of high school. He proved to himself that year that he could play at some level, and his speed in the outfield and on the base paths became elite, and we developed a school list, an introductory packet, and attended a few showcases and did some unofficial visits on the way to his 3 offers and the 1 commitment for Sutton. I will tell you from personal experience that even though we created a plan with Parker as he headed into his junior year of high school, we were lost and getting a little anxious because of our lack of understanding of the timeline of him being recruited. With Sutton, we had very little anxiety because of our knowledge and because we had a plan that started his freshman year, even though we didn't know if he would develop into a college-level player or if he even wanted to pursue the college baseball opportunity. Jon summarized strategy number 1 this way. When you hear voices, when you see things happen out there that really shake you and things don't go as well as you want them to, and coaches reject your son or daughter, there's anxiety. There's panic. There's a lot of reasons these negative emotions set in and really send you spiraling. That is why you need to have a plan. Stick with your plan. If you get nothing else out of this episode, that's the one thing I want you to remember. Stick with your plan. Jon's second strategy to reduce anxiety and panic in recruiting is don't let one-offs sway you. What does he mean by one-offs? He refers to seeing or hearing about early verbal commitments or offers that are seen on social media. Many times you see players that you have competed against verbally commit to a D1 school, and you're thinking, I went 3 for 4 against him, or that guy couldn't guard me, or I beat that guy in every meet we were in. As you might have noticed, I use male pronouns in the last statement. A majority of early commits seem to be guys. Girls can get recruited earlier because of their early physical maturity, and many more get to play on high school varsity games as freshmen and sophomores, many more than underclassmen boys in high school. But boys seem to commit earlier and to larger schools. As Parker finished his sophomore year of high school and played his summer schedule, 2 good players from his high school team, well, that would be on his high school team because they were freshmen moving into their sophomore season and they hadn't played a varsity inning, verbally committed to a local NCAA Division I baseball program. Parker was like, they are good players, but... This created a little fire in Parker to start taking action. This little pinprick of anxiety pushed Parker to start thinking about how to get attention, and by the end of the summer between his sophomore and junior year, he started doing research on how to contact college coaches. By the way, with Parker's plan and commitment as he entered his senior year of high school, he played all 4 years at Northwestern and graduated in 4 years. The 2 early commits started out at their D1 schools and transferred out and are finishing at very good NCAA Division II schools. There is nothing wrong with this situation, but I do feel many early commits don't do their due diligence to pick the right school fit. Plus, the transfer portal has affected this too. Many commits want the social media splash, and they don't understand that a verbal commitment restricts them from visiting or talking with other college coaches, and that other college coaches can't and won't contact you or even make an effort to watch you play. A verbal commitment is not an obligation for the college to follow. It is not a binding contract like an NLI, National Letter of Intent. Listen to episode 277 for more NLI information. Jon summarizes strategy number 2 by saying, quote, I know it's hard. You're going to see things in the social media world. You're going to see a lot of signings pop up. Don't let them bother you in a negative way, unquote. Jon's third strategy from episode 168 about strategies to battle anxiety and panic in your recruiting journey is to journal your successes. Go buy a journal or get the Athletic Scholarship 24-month planner and journal to keep track of all your successes. Doing research on college programs, the coaches, and the academics, and writing down notes is one way to journal successes. Reminding yourself by writing down that you sent an introductory email, or followed up, or called a coach is a success. Recording that a coach emailed you, DM'd you, or texted you give you reminders of success that you can review. You're an athlete. What do you do when you're in a slump? You go back to your basics, your fundamentals. You listen to or watch your successes. Jon says to take time to write things down, to take that success from your mind and put it on paper. And knowing it is there is a key. And the reason that it is important is that you can go back and review and relive it. Small successes stack on top of each other and can and will become a big step in your journey. Remember, no one scores on every shot. The best hitters fail 7 out of 10 times. And you can't set a personal best every time you toe the starting line. But your successful performances are all built on thousands of shots taken, thousands of swings or throws, miles of running, and tons of weights lifted. Do you record or journal your weight training, your shot charts, your diet? Track your successes. Again, an email sent, a call to your high school coach from a college coach, or an invitation to visit a campus are successes. Jon said he guaranteed some of the small ones will be pivotal in your ultimate success. There is just something therapeutic about writing things down. It helps you fight anxiety, not only in recruiting, but in life. I'm enjoying going back and reviewing past episodes of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast, from Jon's episodes number 1 to 202. Mixing my experience, today's research, and Jon's timeless recruiting advice is fun and beneficial. I will continue to mix these episode reviews in for a while. Jon ended episode 168 by reviewing the 3 strategies to reduce recruiting anxiety and panic. Number 1, have a plan and stick with it. Make sure to write out your plan and have someone help you design it. Hint, the Recruit Me 3.0 Athletic Scholarship System. Go to recruit-me.com to get your download for only $39. Strategy number 2, don't let one-off sway you with jealousy, anxiety, or panic. And number 3 strategy is to journal everything, especially successes. Count every small success. Here's a good exercise to get you in the habit of writing things down. Get out a piece of paper and pen. Re-listen to this episode and write down the 3 strategies and the key notes that catch your ear. Back on episodes 369 through 373, I ended those episodes with a section of the recruiting checklist that is found on page 5 of the Athletic Scholarship 24-month Recruiting Planner and Journal, which is a book written by the Recruit Me founder, Jon Fugler. You can get your copy by searching on Amazon or by contacting me, Brent, at recruit-me.com. Here is section 7 of the recruiting checklist. Register with NCAA and NAIA eligibility centers. Register at the beginning of your junior year. Set up an account. Update My Sports section regularly. Get your guidance counselor to send transcript after you have completed high school. Next week, we'll jump into section 8 of the recruiting checklist, academic performance. Thank you for listening to the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, please email me, Brent, at recruit-me.com. Join me next week on either recruit-me.com or on your favorite podcast app for another episode that will change your athletic scholarship future.